Jump in anytime you like, 1332. It's been an awful day for the Prime Minister. Reports have been floating around about leadership speculation, that rift with Joe Hockey and all of that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, but that's nothing. And I'll tell you why. You can have respected commentators doubting that you're up to the job. You can have former colleagues. You can have foreign leaders. The opposition obviously will be chiming in with their doubts. And you can have loudmouths like me coming on every afternoon and talking about it. But once in a while, for a Prime Minister, there comes a voice that seems to sum it all up and drops a mortar right in the middle of the lodge. That mortar was projected today on Melbourne radio, our sister station 3AW. Neil Mitchell was interviewing the Prime Minister, and then he took a call from Andrew that unleashed political hell.
Good morning, Prime Minister. I'm a Liberal voter through and through. And
Thank you, Andrew.
And I'll always vote Liberal, but I've got to be honest and truthful with you, Mr Prime Minister. You're on the nose with Liberal voters, and that's a real concern to me, because I don't want to see you give the keys to Bill Shorten at the lodge.
Well, we're not
what are you going to do to... Well, I'm sorry, the way you're going, it's going to happen. So my question to you is, what are you going to turn it around? Because I've got to tell you, you're the world's worst salesman, Prime Minister.
Well, Andrew, look...
Glad he's a Liberal voter.
Yeah, that's right.
And I am a Liberal voter.
Okay,
I'm fair income.
Well, thank you, Andrew. Thank you. What's the specific problem? Is there a policy thing you don't agree with?
I think he's saying it's you.
No, Mr Prime Minister, it's the way you do things, like the Medicare thing, with the education. You've done so many backflips. People don't know where you're going, and business are saying there's roadblocks because there's no direction, there's no leadership, and that concerns me as a Liberal voter. We can't afford a later government, but you're going to put Bill Shorten back in the lodge with a massive majority because people simply don't like you, and as a Liberal voter, I don't particularly like you.
So there you go. That was Andrew on 3AW today in Melbourne talking with the Prime Minister, and he belted the PM with the mercy of a Roman Empire rolling over an ancient tribe. And then the Prime Minister came back with the list, which is the list of the things that a Prime Minister has on hand, figures that they can call up to say, hey, listen, we really are doing a terrific job. But Andrew hit the spot. And we've talked to a couple of senior Liberals off air today. They're not putting their name to this, and you can understand why, but they say that Tony Abbott is in a lot of trouble. And we know some of the reasons why. We've got Medicare, we've got education reform, the budget in general, the way it was sold. But as Andrew points out, that's not it. That's not the big problem. It's the selling of it. And if you're not believed as a leader, you're in trouble. Opposition leader Bill Shorten, that Andrew pointed out, he's going to get handed the keys to the lodge. He hasn't been doing a hell of a lot wrong of late and could slipstream the Prime Minister into this job. And Liberal supporters fear that he could just have enough, to get across the line if the Prime Minister doesn't change the way he is doing it. They see that as the problem. To be specific, they see the problem being the Prime Minister. And it's not like the party has no options. Julie Bishop has looked nothing short of magnificent as she goes about her job making the world a safer and better place, and Malcolm Turnbull remains attractive as a leader who can capture a big chunk of the Labor voters. And I know that the Liberal Party, the party room just doesn't really warm to Malcolm Turnbull, but I tell you what they hate more than Malcolm Turnbull, they hate losing. And parties will attach themselves to the one that will win it for them. Joe Hockey, well, he had a chance, but that's gone. He might become Prime Minister if he actually lives to 150. This comment about the poor people with cars and the way he sold the budget in general, and his aloofness has weighed him down. But before there's any talk of new leaders, this is what the party will be asking themselves today. Is Tony Abbott able to turn himself into a Prime Minister? That's it. Because he's not doing it right now. That's what they're saying to themselves. And they'll be asking, can he turn himself into one? There are Prime Ministers who start off looking like awkward teenagers trying to get their first kiss, and then they grow into the job. The party is now thinking, are we stuck with the awkward teenager?